Hello and welcome. You're watching Your Trades. This is Mansi Dave with you and the Monday session for the markets. The stock market turned out to be really well. It was a good start to the week. And as we did see, of course, this is a truncated week, but the indices, both the benchmarks as well as the broader markets, were doing positive rounds. We started with a lot of volatility, but during the session, the markets performed real good and we did see an upsurge. Nifty did decisively close about 24,500, which is an important level, and we can only hope and feel and think that the markets will take an upsurge from here on. Of course, it's a shorter week and Friday session for the market is a holiday in the Indian markets, but then considering the session on Monday, 24,585, we were trying to touch base near 24,600. Let's just hope that we take the levels from ahead from here. Of course, the robust mutual fund flows was a big news which made headlines during the session, where SIPs did touch at record high 28,000 crore and above, and that was something which was to see. Of course, the conviction in the markets is constantly up and running for the market participants, no matter how much volatility we see in the markets. Talking about the stock-specific flows, the demand for AC is going down because of which the related category stocks were not performing. PG Electroplast did drag consumer durable space to a larger extent, and stocks in the same basket did feel the heat during the session, but PG Electroplast was the top laggard during the session. Brokerage notes did tear stocks like Tata Motors and SBI. Of course, SBI had a positive news flow, but for Tata Motors, numbers were not good, be it the profit figure or the revenue figure. But even after the weaker set of numbers, the brokerage reports, which were positive, and the commentary coming in did help the stock to a larger extent. We talk about Grasim also. It did perk up on strong Q1 earnings, and at the same time, brokerage did initiate coverage on HDB Financial, which was also the talk of the session during the day. Sun TV did soar on resolution of family feud, and at the same time, there are news and flows coming in from the global markets also, where Trump is planning to meet Vladimir Putin on August 15th August. And 27th August, two important dates on the back of tariff implication and announcements which we need to keep an eye on. And now 15th August, where Donald Trump is all set to meet Mr. Putin, and the Russia-Ukraine crisis, which has been up and running and up and on since 3 years. There is a plan to bring in halt to that crisis, and that's the reason the meeting is planned to happen in Alaska. We'll keep an eye on that. But PM Narendra Modi is also planning to meet Putin, and we see that this meeting might happen during the end of this year. So that is something which we need to keep an eye on. These are all the top news for the day. But let's move ahead and take a look at the markets and also understand what are the technical experts understanding from the market, the indices, as well as the stock-specific front. We have Lakshmikant Shukla with us, technical analyst, institutional research, Yes Securities India, joining with us. Lakshmikant, good afternoon. Thank you for giving your time to ET Now. It was a good start to the session. Of course, we did start with a rational approach, but during the session, the markets behaved really well, and we did cross ahead of 24,500 levels, and even before ahead of 24,550. What's your take on the indices? And then we'll go to the stocks.
Good afternoon, Mansi. So, market did a good rebound in today's sessions. So, after 6 consecutive weeks of decline, Nifty was due for a short-term bounce, which we saw in today's session. Index opened on a strong note and closed with a gain of more than 200 points, but caution remained warranted. Nifty reclaimed its 100-day SMA of 24,510, but sustainability above Thursday's swing high of 24,635 is crucial for further upside momentum. Only a decisive break of this level could propel index toward the levels of 24,800, whereas on the downside, immediate support is seen near the levels of 24,340, and which is again followed by 24,200 levels. So that would be the technical level for the Nifty. Bank Nifty also found strong support near its 100 SMA at 58,4,900 level, and it had also stayed a sharp rebound while forming Tudor bottom candlestick pattern on the daily chart. Now it is approaching toward its Friday swing high of 55,650 levels. And if it sustains above this level, then this pullback move could extend higher toward the levels of 56,400. So that would be the upcoming resistance for the Bank Nifty. while as long as it hold above the levels of 54,900, we could see a pullback move in Bank Nifty in the upcoming sessions. But for further confirmation, it need to break its key hurdle of 54,000, 56,400 levels on the upside.
Okay, so that's the view on the indices, both Nifty as well as Bank Nifty. Lakshmikant, also, what are the trading ideas for the session next?
See, in today's sessions, the Nifty PSU banks has given consolidation breakthrough above the levels of 7,025, and then after we have seen sharp upside momentum in the PSU banks, so we expect the first recommendation. So I am giving first recommendation from the PSU bank, that is Bank of India. So Bank of India has witnessed falling trend line breakout with the bullish crossover in the RSI. So we expect upside move in Bank of India toward the levels of 123, where we have to keep the stop loss of 108. Second stock which we recommend, that is LNT. So LNT has formed a strong base formation near the levels of 3,550 to 3,560, and then after we have seen sharp rebound momentum on the upside. So we expect consolidation breakout momentum to the levels of 3,660, from where we could see further acceleration in the buying momentum in LNT toward a target of 3,860. So these are the two recommendations we would like to give to our viewer.
Banks and financials are constantly in focus, and LNT is another trading idea. And even when we talk about banks and financials, and in particular, if you compare PSU bank space with the private bank space, the day was for the PSU bank, and the PSU bank category was in itself doing really good during the entire session. Lakshmikant, thank you so much for your views on the markets, both indices as well as stock specific recommendations. Let us now move ahead and talk to Shrishti and try and understand what are those breakout or breakdown stocks. Shrishti, I suppose it will be all breakout stocks today?
Actually, one breakout and one breakdown stock. That's what we have spotted for our viewers. And firstly, let's talk about the breakout stock, and that is Eternal on the charts. This stock was one of the top gainers on the Nifty 50. But if you look at the chart setup, that was actually quite interesting, because of late the stock has been falling for the past couple of weeks. But in today's trading session, a falling trend line breakout is what we have seen on the technical front. And look at the support level. The stock continuously has been taking support of its 20-day moving average. After this gap up, it actually retraced a little bit, but exactly taking support from its 20-day moving average. And not just that, look at the long-term chart of Eternal. You will see that the breakout above that 300 odd level is still sustained for this particular counter, and hence we chose the stock as the breakout candidate. But moving on to the next counter then, and that is a breakdown stock. This one was an earning candidate indeed, where the margins were lower on a YOY basis. The stock was down 4%. But what was interesting to see on the charts, let's find out that. You will see that the support level of 1340 odd level was once again retested in today's trading session. And whenever a stock actually retests its support level multiple times, that actually tends to be a little weak. But for today, we are just flagging off that once again the stock is retesting its support levels. For today, it has halted at those levels. But interesting to note that the stock is trading below its 20-day moving average. So all in all, this level now becomes a very crucial one to track for Ipca Labs. But after that 4% fall today, we have taken this stock in the category of the breakdown stock. And these are the two counters for today. Back to you.
So one breakout and one breakdown stocks. Thank you for that, Shrishti. Let's move ahead and understand the word from the Vice. Well, mutual funds see a stellar show in the month of July as equity flows hit record highs, soaring above the 42,000 crore mark. Net inflows also did rise 80% year on year, driven by NFOs. SIP flows hit another record high. We discussed the July data with Suranjana Borthakur, Head of Distribution and Strategic Alliances, Mirai Asset Investment Managers. Listen in.
January was a great month in equity inflows, but there was a steady decline that was happening after that. So there's been, I think this month has been a huge spike. We are seeing 81% upside in the equity numbers. But if we see within that, I think the largest contribution has been from the sectoral NFO side, because sectoral funds have attracted around 9,400 crores, but a large portion of that has been sectoral NFOs, about 7,400 crores out of that. I think the other categories like focused as well as small cap have seen almost a 60% upside from last month numbers. We also have seen a healthy upside in the large and mid cap as well as the multi cap category. I think the SIP numbers are very, very encouraging. I think, that 28,000 mark has been something which is only looking up month on month. I think it talks about the maturity of the investor base.
So yes, strong SIP flows and the conviction in the market, even when they are volatile and there's so much happening from the global front, market participants still have absolute conviction and confidence in Indian markets. Moving ahead, consumer durable stocks for the likes of PG Electroplast, Voltas, Blue Star are down and out and were not performing during the session today. Early monsoon, high valuations with low growth were all weighing on white good companies. Why the fall and what were the reasons and what exactly is happening in this space? Let us try and understand everything, and we have Snehi joining with all the details.
Well, yes, so if you take a look at these consumer durable goods, particularly the white goods, the AC manufacturers in particular, these are some stocks that are taking a beating in today's trading session because the overall sector is down. Let's understand why. This has been led largely by the fall that we've seen in PG Electroplast ever since last week after they cut their guidance for FY26. There's also early monsoon impacting summer sales. Inventories issues, they still persist for dealers. They were anticipating a good summer, but there was a shortened summer this time, so lots of inventory overhang has remained with the dealers, and weak numbers from Voltas also. So now let's delve into all of these reasons one by one. First up, let's talk about PG Electroplast. Quarter one net profit was down by 20% on a year-on-year basis. They've cut their revenue guidance to 18% from 30% earlier. They cut their EBITDA margin guidance by 125 to 150 bips as well. So very big cut coming over here as well. Capex has also been cut, that guidance, and they've also refrained from sharing any FY27 guidance. So all of these negatives are marring the PG Electronics stock today. Let's come to Voltas. Weak numbers coming in, a miss versus all estimates. Net profit is down 58%, margins have contracted too, and Voltas has said that they expect the FY26 industry growth to be flattish, anywhere between just 5 and 10% for FY26. Let's come to Blue Star now, because Blue Star is also a stock that is down. Blue Star cut production by 20% in May and 25% in June. They aim to grow 25 to 30% in the month of April, but they grew only 5%, so their quarter one was weak too as well. And they see a 10 to 15% growth in unitary cooling products from in FY26, down from 20% earlier. They also expect a reduction of 5 to 10% for overall FY26 earnings estimate as well. If you take a look at where these stocks are faring from their 52-week high, PG Electronics is low by 52%, Voltas low by 36%, and Blue Star down 27% from their individual 52-week highs. So this is the state of the entire white goods condition sector right now, largely hampered by the extended monsoon that we've seen this time.
All right, Snehi, thanks for all of those updates. Moving ahead and talking on the same topic. Well, Vikas Gupta, Managing Director, PG Electroplast, did say that production should increase in November and December, and they also anticipate demand to increase going forward. Let's listen in.
The production ramp up starts happening in month of November and December. So we are expecting that the ramp up for the production will start happening in the month of November and December. And as there is a rating label change as well, there will be certain pre-build in the month of November, December to have some kind of inventory at a low at a older rating label in the market. And I feel there will be a pre-build, and the demand should normalize for the coming season. We are hoping that inventory is going to normalize in month of November or December. We are already in active discussions with our clients, with our other partners, brand partners, to see what will be the product lineup. We are already working on the complete lineup for the summer of 2026. We are already working on that. We feel that the market should recover. It's a one-off season that has gone bad. If you look at the long-term trajectory for the AC business, it is very robust, very strong.
So that's PG Electroplast and the management talking about the demand as well as the sales scenario in the coming quarters. Moving ahead, Tata Motors did posted a mixed first quarter. Revenue and EBITDA were in line with our estimates. However, margins did miss slightly, but profit did beat our forecast. Let's go across to Shrishti to get more inputs on quarter one and also what the brokerages were penciling in. Shrishti, over to you.
Well, yes, a mixed bag coming in from Tata Motors in Q1 of FY26. Profits been a beat, while a slight miss on the consolidated margins is what we have seen. But the good part is, especially with respect to the JLR, is that the margin guidance has been maintained to 5 to 7% for the full year versus 4% was what the company has reported. So that indicates that going ahead in the upcoming quarters, the margins are expected to see a jump up in order to meet the guidance given ahead. Along with that, in terms of the India business, the commercial vehicle margins continue to be steady in that double-digit range, while the passenger vehicle margins, they were not that impressive, but the management is confident that the volumes are expected to rise going ahead. But brokerages are taking it okayish because select brokerages have actually gone ahead and cut their target price, but it was actually DAM Capital that has upgraded the rating to a buy now on Tata Motors and have hiked the target price to 775 rupees. What DAM Capital is highlighting that the valuations are quite very suppressed and they are finding it attractive too at this point in time, and they believe that any demand recovery would be the key trigger for the margin and the valuation expansion as well. For now, they are not making any changes in their estimates across the segment, but they are also highlighting that the target price hike of just 25 rupees as of now, that's on the account of translation effect of JLR financials into the INR reporting as INR weakened against the pound recently. And all in all, decent set coming in from Tata Motors, but yes, of course, since the stock is already half from its all-time high levels, post these earnings and no major disappointments indeed, we have seen a good run-up, and this brokerage upgrade was definitely one of the other factors that helped the stock inch higher by more than 3%. Back to you.
Thanks for that update, Shrishti. So, yes, the numbers were not that a great set, but the brokerage reports did help the stock price during the session. Moving ahead, ICICI Bank has hiked the average monthly minimum balance for new savings account in metros and urban areas to 50,000 rupees from 10,000, with changes to balances in semi-urban and rural branches as well. Existing customers remain unaffected, where we did take a quick view on how is it going to impact overall. Listen into what RBI Governor Sanjay Malhotra had to say on this.
मिनिमम बैलेंस की जो बात है, जो मिनिमम बैलेंस का जो आप बात कर रहे हो, वो उसके अंदर में रिजर्व बैंक ने सभी बैंकों के ऊपर में छोड़ा है कि वो किस प्रकार का मिनिमम बैलेंस वो रखना चाहते। तो अब किसी बैंक ने 10,000 रखा है, किसी ने 2,000, कईयों ने माफ भी किया हुआ है, लेकिन ये रेगुलेटरी डोमेन में नहीं है।
Okay, so that was the RBI governor talking on the recent news flows which came in for the ICICI Bank in particular, and talking large about the banks and financials as well. Moving ahead, Kanishka is here with us. Let us understand what were the stocks and news during the session today. Kanishka.
Absolutely. Quite a few stocks that were in focus today, especially in the last hour of trading. First up, let's talk about L&T, which climbed about 1.5% after announcing a mega deal. That's a contract win from Adani Power worth over 15,000 crore rupees for its carbon light solutions business. This order involves setting up of 6,400 megawatt thermal project and is classified among the company's largest deals. Then we have Sun TV, which advanced about 2.5% after informing the exchanges that all legal notices from a family member to the company's promoter, his relatives and other individuals had been unconditionally and irrevocably withdrawn, effectively resolving the dispute. Next up, some earnings counters. For instance, Bajaj Consumer, that saw gains of about 1.5% as Q1 revenue rose 8.5% year-on-year, net profit was up 2%, and EBITDA improved to 10.6% to 40 crore rupees. Margins also expanded to 15.2%. Next up, there's BEML, which rose about 2% after reporting narrower Q1 losses, with the net loss coming in at 64 crore rupees. Revenue was flat at 634 crore rupees, while EBITDA loss marginally reduced to 49 crore rupees from 50 crore rupees earlier, reflecting improved operational efficiencies. Then we have JM Financial, which gained about 1.5% after delivering strong Q1 performance, with net interest income coming in 30% higher year-on-year at 238 crore rupees. Lastly, there's IPCA Labs, which dropped about 3.5% today despite posting Q1 revenue growth of 10% year-on-year and 21% rise in net profit. The stock did come under pressure as EBITDA margin that contracted 73 bips to 18.04% due to high raw material costs and operational costs as well. So those were some of the counters that we tracked today that were in focus today, especially in the last hour of trading.
Absolutely. Thanks for all of those updates, Kanishka. And now Snehi is with us to help us understand all the cues and triggers to watch out for tomorrow. Snehi, over to you.
Well, yes, lots of cues to watch out for, some very important events to track, and one of them on top of our radar is going to be India's CPI numbers. The inflation print is going to be out, so keep a very close eye on that. But it's not only our market that's going to be reporting the CPI numbers. We also have CPI coming in from US, so this is also going to be very important to watch out for. Other than that, from UK, we have employment data numbers coming out, so watch out for that as well. In terms of global earnings, Wilmar will be in focus, but shifting earnings action back home from Nifty, you have the last three companies of Nifty 50 for Q1 FY26 that will be reporting their numbers: Hindalco, Apollo Hospitals and ONGC, and that is going to be marking the end of Nifty 50 earnings for Q1. Other than that, you have a whole host of companies from the broader market, the likes of Granules, NHPC, Honasa Consumer, Nykaa, Karnataka Bank, Cochin Shipyard, Nazara Tech, Bajaj Hindustan, Jindal Steel, Alchem Labs, a whole host of companies to watch out for. So keep a close eye on these as well. In terms of corporate action and board meetings, Nazara Technologies, along with its earnings, the board is also going to mull stock split and bonus issue tomorrow. So watch out for that. RCF board is going to be mulling fundraising as well. So keep a very close eye on that. ICICI Bank, Rights, Grasim, they will be trading ex-dividend, and it's also going to be the last day to buy the shares of Godrej Consumer, Brigade Enterprises, Concor, Sun TV, Interglobe Aviation, Railtel, NBCZ and Pidilite to be eligible for their dividend eligibility record date if you wish to do so. In terms of AGMs, Berger Paint, VA Tech Wabag, Zydus Life Sciences, Avenue Supermart, HCC, Spark and a whole host of other companies will be hosting their AGMs as well. And lastly, in terms of some other events, also keep a very close eye on OPEC monthly oil market report. That will be out as well. A preliminary trade truce between the US and China is set to be expired. It could be extended, so all eyes are going to be on that as well. And Richmond Fed President Thomas Barkin is going to speak, especially important to track after the CPI numbers that we see. So keep a close eye on all of these cues, all of them very important to track.
Absolutely, Snehi. Thank you for all of that update. And with that, it's a wrap up on this segment of your trades, but there's a lot lined up on the other side on ET Now. So you stay tuned with us. Thank you.